mind is everything. What you think, you become. You hear that quote a lot, don't you?
Yeah, it's almost a cliche sometimes.
Right. But in this deep dive, we're looking at a source that treats it, well, much more seriously. As a fundamental truth, maybe even a warning. Today, we're diving into a transcript from the Audiobook Zone YouTube channel. It's called simply, "The Mind is Everything. What you think, you become."
Okay.
And our mission here, really for you listening, is to unpack its core message, pull out the practical steps, and understand why this source argues controlling your thoughts is the absolute starting point for change.
It's fascinating how it positions thinking, isn't it? Not just as one factor, but as the foundation.
Exactly. It says your thinking is the starting point for literally everything you want to build. Or I guess everything you already have, for that matter.
Yeah, the source is quite direct. It links weak thinking directly to, well, weak actions. Small thoughts keep your life small.
And the flip side is that changing how you think is the actual moment things start moving differently.
That's the core premise. Keeping the old thinking just guarantees you live the old life. But if you bring, say, clarity, strength, purpose to your thoughts,
then the results start to match what you're aiming for. It's framed as a necessary mindset reset, not just, positive thinking.
which leads straight into that warning you mentioned. Control what you think before it controls you.
Because the implication is, if you're not deliberately steering your thoughts, something else will fill that vacuum.
Exactly. Or someone else. The source really hammers home that everything starts with a thought. Every decision, every action, every habit, it begins in your head.
And those thoughts repeat, don't they? It's not just one passing idea.
Right. And the mind isn't neutral ground. If you don't intentionally fill it with what's useful, what moves you forward?
It defaults to what's easy.
Yeah. Worry, comparison, regret, making excuses. That becomes the background noise, the default reality if you let it.
And you are the gatekeeper. That's a key point. It's not your friends, family, the news.
Right. They create external noise, sure, but you decide what gets past the gate and occupies your mental space.
So you have to ask yourself, who's actually running the show in there? Is it fear making you hesitate?
Or doubt making you quit early? Or maybe blame, just wasting energy?
Or is it responsibility, discipline, belief? Because the source says that shift in the inner voice is what actually changes things.
It's a direct link. Taking control of your thinking is taking back the driver's seat in your life, managing that internal noise deliberately.
Okay, so we get why it's crucial. But the million-dollar question is how? How do you actually change your thinking? The source calls this the foundation.
Right, and this is a major takeaway. The source argues pretty forcefully that external changes, new job, new clothes, new city, even new goals.
I won't stick.
Not sustainably, no. Not if the underlying thinking that created the old situation is still running the show. The real leverage is internal.
That really lands. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, sort of.
Exactly. And the common obstacle it identifies is people getting stuck running these old thought patterns on repeat. I can't do this. This stuff always happens to me. It's probably too late for me anyway.
And those aren't just thoughts. They become like a script you live by, on autopilot.
Precisely. You end up acting out that script without even realizing you wrote it, or at least accepted it, but the source gives a clear 3-step process to break this cycle.
Okay, let's get into those steps. This is the practical part. Step 1, awareness.
Sounds simple, but it's huge. Just catch your thoughts. Become an observer of your own mind.
Like really pay attention to the inner chatter, especially when things get tough.
Exactly. When you're stressed, when you fail, when something goes wrong, that's where your real mindset shows up, not when things are easy. And be prepared to be surprised.
Surprised by what? Hidden negativity?
Yeah. Self-doubt you didn't know was there, lingering regret, maybe blame, fear.
Yeah.
You can't change what you refuse to even look at.
Okay, so you become aware. Then step 2 is to challenge it.
Right. Don't just accept every thought as gospel. Ask it tough questions. Is this useful right now? Is this helping me move forward? Is this the kind of thinking that builds the life I actually want?
And if the answer is no, which it often might be,
Then comes step 3. Replace or rewire. This is where the active work, the discipline, comes in. If a thought isn't serving you, you have a choice. Feed it attention or replace it.
don't let useless thoughts live rent-free. I like that phrase from the source.
Me too, because letting them stay on autopilot, it's like driving with the parking brake on. You're just fighting yourself.
And this rewiring isn't instant. It takes practice, repetition.
Absolutely. You're literally creating new neural pathways. You have to choose the new thought deliberately, especially when the old, familiar, comfortable one pops up, because the brain loves familiar.
Even if familiar means stuck.
Right. So the practical technique offered is get a notebook, Write down the thoughts holding you back, fears, limits, excuses. Then, right next to them, consciously write down what you need to think instead.
So turning "I can't succeed without support" into what? I'll figure out how to succeed.
Exactly. Or "I failed too many times" becomes "every failure taught me something and made me stronger." Do this daily. The goal isn't immediate perfection, just consistent progress, building that new inner voice.
This internal work is powerful, but it doesn't happen in a bubble, does it? The source brings up environment.
Yeah, that's critical. Who you talk to, what you read, watch, listen to, it all feeds your thinking, strengthening or weakening your mindset.
So being constantly surrounded by negativity, complaining, blaming.
It inevitably pulls your own thinking down that path. It's almost like mental gravity. So the source says you have to protect your mind fiercely.
Not by becoming a hermit, presumably.
No, not isolation, but intention. Be deliberate about who gets your time and energy. Seek out people who challenge you constructively, who speak with strength, who take responsibility, who embody the change they talk about.
People who sharpen you, basically. Remind you of what's possible. Hold you to a higher standard.
Right, because the source lays out an uncomfortable choice. If your thinking is built on fear, excuses, or just staying comfortable, your life will likely remain small. You have to choose. Protect your comfort or protect your growth.
And real change is usually uncomfortable, isn't it? Unfamiliar.
Almost always. It requires stretching, thinking differently. It demands taking ownership of everything. The good, the bad, the results. No more blaming.
The source says freedom really starts when you stop blaming external stuff and start changing how you think about it.
Exactly. It's not pretending problems don't exist. It's building a mindset strong enough to handle the pressure and keep moving.
Which ties into the next big idea. Training your mind to believe in your own strength.
This is so important. The source argues most people don't actually lack strength. They lack the belief in the strength they already possess.
And that belief, or lack of it, is the difference between moving forward and staying stuck.
Fundamentally, yes. It's that quiet internal confidence in your own capability, regardless of what's happening outside.
And it's not luck, it's trained.
Absolutely. You have to actively train your mind to see and trust its own strength, especially when things get hard. It's built, as the source says, brick by brick, choice by choice, thought by thought, earned through consistency.
So when you have that trained belief, you stop needing constant external approval. You don't wait for perfect timing.
Exactly. You move even when you're uncertain or uncomfortable because you trust yourself to handle it.
And the internal dialogue is key here. Telling yourself you're not enough
Reinforces a small identity. Replaying mistakes keeps you stuck in the past. If doubt is louder than effort, you'll quit. But if you feed your mind the truth that you have survived hard things, that you learn, that you keep trying,
then the belief grows.
Right, and it highlights the difference between belief and motivation. Motivation fades, right?
Well,
it's fickle.
Yeah, it depends on the mood, the weather.
But belief is steady. When you believe you're capable, you do what needs doing, regardless of mood, because that's who you've trained yourself to be.
Your mind listens. That's a powerful concept. What you tell it becomes instruction.
I can't becomes a self-fulfilling command. I'm not ready, keeps you waiting indefinitely. But if you flip it, I don't have all the answers, but I'll figure it out, or I can handle this.
Your brain starts looking for proof to back that up.
Exactly. That's how belief gets built. Not wishful thinking, but repeated intentional thoughts supporting growth. And crucially, you build belief by doing, not by waiting to feel it.
So every small step, every kept promise to yourself.
Build evidence. Proof. You move from hoping you can handle things to knowing you can, because you've seen yourself do it. It takes effort, consistency, discipline. Be patient, but be serious about it. Every time you choose belief over doubt, you strengthen that muscle.
And the past doesn't have to hold you hostage. Mistakes, failures,
Yeah.
they happened.
Right. Strength is standing back up after those moments and deciding, that doesn't define me. I define who I am now.
The source suggests daily practices, like noting wins.
Yeah, start the day noting something you handled well or are proud of, redirects focus. And writing down core beliefs daily, I finish what I start, I handle challenges calmly. They act as instructions.
And watch the input again. Books, people.
Definitely. Strengthen your mind with solid input. Avoid negativity from others and yourself. That question is powerful. Would you talk to a loved one the way you talk to yourself? If not, change the script.
And stop the comparison game. Strength is personal.
Totally. It's a relationship with yourself built daily. Confidence comes from showing up and trusting you'll handle whatever comes.
Okay, taking this even further. The source talks about thinking like the person you want to be right now.
This is really the active transformation part. You can't become that confident, disciplined person while still thinking like the version of you that doubts and fears. Your thinking leads the way.
So it's about taking mental responsibility today, not waiting.
Exactly. Shifting from one day I'll be like that to this is how I operate now. That internal decision drives everything, even before the results show up.
The key question being,
How would the version of me that I respect think and act right now? Carry that question into every situation.
so if you want to be disciplined, start thinking with discipline today. Don't wait to feel like it.
Right. The mistake is waiting to become before you start thinking like it. It's backwards. Growth starts with the decision, then the mental alignment shifting self-talk, what you tolerate from yourself, where you put energy,
Thinking like someone who keeps their word, values their time.
refuses to stay stuck, seeks solutions, acts with intention, even when it's hard. That's the future self.
But this requires honesty, doesn't it? Facing current patterns.
Brutal honesty. How do you really think when things go wrong? Panic, blame, avoid, or, okay, next right step. The thinking that got you stuck won't get you unstuck. Let go of comfortable thoughts. Choose growth thoughts.
Ask those tough questions. What would a confident person think facing fear? What would a disciplined person do when motivation vanishes?
Answering these requires effort, repetition, consistency, mentally rehearsing how that future self operates.
Giving yourself permission to rise by thinking like it already belongs to you.
Exactly. It's about responding with purpose instead of just reacting. Planning, adjusting, moving forward. That starts with mental discipline, with building that identity in your mind first.
And the internal shifts are significant. Self-respect, focus.
Huge. Distractions fade, standards rise, saying no gets easier, less need for validation, energy goes to growth, pride in how you carry yourself. It's internal power, independent of circumstances.
So every choice becomes a filter. Is this what the person I'm becoming would choose?
If not, walk away. That's alignment. It stretches you, challenges habits, forces you out of comfort zones.
Because that future self lives in clarity, truth, intention.
And you get there by thinking your way into it daily. Your thinking is either working for you or against you. Choose.
Which brings us right back to choosing better thoughts and guarding the mind as ongoing work.
Because the direction of your life follows the direction of your thoughts. Scattered thinking leads to scattered results. Choosing better thoughts intentionally shifts everything.
And most people struggle because they let the wrong thoughts hang around. Doubt, regret, guilt, overthinking.
Yeah, all that mental clutter. It acts like resistance. And better thoughts aren't just happy thoughts, they're useful thoughts, aligned with growth. Thoughts that help you respond with clarity and strength.
Like shifting from this is too much to this will develop me.
Exactly. Recognize that thinking is often just habit, not necessarily truth. Poor thinking habits create poor emotional and behavioral habits. You have to get serious about what you dwell on.
Break the mental autopilot. Notice those first thoughts in the morning. Worries, complaints.
They set the tone. Your mind responds to instructions, and better thoughts require discipline. Notice what you think when you're not paying attention looking in the mirror after a mistake.
Those are the T moments.
Crucial moments for choice. They reveal the default settings. And choosing better thoughts isn't denying pain, it's responding with clarity instead of panic. Acknowledge fear, but choose empowering thoughts. Recognize setbacks, but think towards growth.
Because thoughts aren't fixed. You can change them. Awareness is key.
You can't change what you don't recognize. Train awareness to spot thoughts triggering procrastination, frustration, etc.
And that practical technique again, write down the looping thoughts. Ask, does this help me grow or slow me down?
And then rewrite the ones that slow you down. Turn them into thoughts that support action and progress. Choosing thoughts that lead forward, not keep you paralyzed.
Stuckness is often just mental clutter. Too much noise.
Exactly. Past failures, future fears, others' opinions. Only clear, focused, growth thinking moves you. And this includes protecting your input.
Filtering what you consume. Conversations, content.
Absolutely. Every interaction leaves something behind. If you don't filter, you absorb indiscriminately. Leads to overwhelm, losing direction, be selective. If it doesn't align with your goals or principles, ignore it.
Guard your mind like your most valuable asset. Treat it seriously.
Because it fuels your future or drains it. Influence is real. What you hear repeatedly becomes normalized, becomes a belief. Watch that inner voice too, especially when tired or down.
That's when old patterns sneak back in.
Very easily. Redirect. Ask, is this helping me right now? Choose the thought that serves you, even if the negative one feels easier. Ignore noise. Stay grounded. Boundaries for your mental space are essential.
And intentionally feed your mind daily. Strong ideas, challenging reads.
Yes, focused input leads to clearer thinking. Not a bubble, but a supportive mental environment.
And the result is stability. Life's interruptions don't completely derail you.
You feel them, sure, but you don't fall apart. Opinions don't become your truth. Challenges are met with a core sense of capability. Protecting your peace, leading yourself, staying consistent, it all hinges on protecting your mind.
Allowing weak input has a cost. Mood, motivation, decisions.
Definitely. Your thoughts create your reality, one decision at a time. Stop wasting energy on what doesn't push you forward. You become prepared for struggle because your mindset can handle pressure. Mental discipline keeps you moving.
So the daily job is checking the door of your mind, deciding what gets in.
Protect it like your future depends on it because, well, the source argues it does.
And this focus on thought control leads right into needing action. Weak thoughts thrive on inaction.
Right. Weak thoughts aren't random. They grow from a loud hesitation, doubt, indecision. They slow you down, make you question everything.
But the counter is powerful. Weak thoughts can't survive where action is happening.
Exactly. The moment you move, especially towards what you fear, they lose their grip. Their tactics are delay, shrink, settle. You're not ready, what if? They drain energy, waste time. They shut you down with fear if you don't shut them down with movement.
You can't negotiate with fear, can't outthink it.
You have to outwork it. Action changes the whole game. It builds evidence, a new reference point, replaces what if with what's next. Acting despite doubt weakens doubt. That's how you reclaim control.
Weak thoughts love stillness. Doing nothing feels worse than failing.
Often, yes. Action teaches, gives feedback. Overthinking just drowns you in scenarios, costs time, confidence, power.
So when weak thoughts show up, the instruction is move.
Any step, smallest possible step. Write the message, go for a walk, speak up, finish the task. Act not because you feel fearless, but because fear doesn't get the deciding vote. Action decides. Every time you choose action, you grow stronger.
Weak thoughts only win if you listen to them, give them credibility.
Stop giving them space. You can say no, interrupt the pattern. Stand up and say, I'm doing this anyway. That shifts the mind.
Don't wait to feel ready. That's a trap.
Get ready by acting. Build belief through effort. Daily. Wear down weak thoughts through repeated action. Every uncomfortable action trains your brain. Movement over fear.
That's why strong people act. Not lack of doubt, but habit of moving before doubt paralyzes.
Precisely. Moving without permission. Your mind needs proof you're capable. You don't fold. You act when it's unclear. Create that proof by doing the work. Show up. Follow through. Stay focused. Build mental strength through action, not argument.
Stop arguing with weak thoughts. Replace them with movement. Your mind follows the path you walk.
It's an identity shift. From someone needing rescue to someone creating progress. Weak thoughts will still show up, but you know what to do. They have no weight unless you give it. Most fear loses power when you move.
Choose strength over comfort. Weak thoughts want comfort. Action wants growth. Weak thoughts say wait. Action says now.
Act stronger to feel stronger. Take the step for clarity. Show up when it's hard to build self-trust. Action produces belief. Changes life from the inside out. Stop feeding the part that wants to stay the same.
Action makes weak thoughts quieter because results speak louder than fear.
It's a decision. Stop waiting. Stop entertaining weak thoughts. Live from intention, courage, ownership. Get stronger by doing. Your mind follows. Steps towards strength make leaving weakness easier because you've stopped believing the old thoughts and started building something better.
And building on action and belief, the source emphasizes the power of what you say to yourself. Confidence building.
Right, not just affirmations, but recognizing that your internal language shapes feelings, actions, and belief in your capability. Confidence starts with words, not results.
Repeated thoughts become self-image, setting the ceiling.
Exactly. If you constantly tell yourself you're behind, not good enough, not ready, you start acting like it's true. Energy drops, decisions shrink, you hold back. Often starts when it gets quiet.
People are harder on themselves than anyone else. The damage of unchecked internal negativity.
It's significant. You don't need outside praise. You need to speak to yourself like you see value in your effort, your worth, your ability to figure things out, say things that help you grow, strengthen, lift you up. Not lying, but being deliberate about effort and potential.
Confidence grows through consistent internal encouragement, not just wins.
Yes. Every time you try again, finish something, stretch yourself, notice it, say it, acknowledge the progress, however small.
Creating a language of belief, reinforcing who you're becoming. I'm committed, I'll handle it.
Those statements change how you walk into the day. Confidence lives in progress and effort, not perfection. Even if I mess up, I'll get back up. Practice that voice.
Don't entertain the negative loop. Take control of the language. Speak like someone working on something important, someone valuing discipline, whose worth isn't tied to approval.
It's a daily choice. Repeat the old self-defeating script, or build an inner voice that helps you rise. Speak with respect. I'm proud. I'm still growing. Consistent, not perfect. Keeps you grounded.
Because the brain listens to repetition. Beliefs form from repeated statements, create better patterns.
Learning to do better, getting stronger each day, building blocks of a stronger identity, and do it now, in the middle of stress or uncertainty. That's when your voice matters most. Keep going versus stay stuck.
Speak like a leader of yourself, taking responsibility, believing in growth.
That voice resets focus, calms nerves, brings clarity if trained. Confidence is built in choosing self-support over harshness, redirecting spirals, reminding yourself of your value.
Speak with clarity, directness, commitment. Language that makes you feel stronger. How you talk to yourself sets the tone.
It's not fake, it's honest encouragement, like for a friend. Your mind is listening, your future is forming from what you repeat. Use your voice, even the silent one, to build, lead, become steady. Confidence from conscious, clear, empowering speech.
You're not just talking, you're building a solid mindset. Confidence from language choice, not luck.
Which leads right into that crucial idea of cleaning out thoughts that slow progress. Because progress is shaped by thinking just as much as doing. A cluttered mind feels like a weight.
Gotta be honest about what's living in your head, right? Familiar isn't always useful. Same thinking, same living.
And cleaning out isn't erasing the past, it's removing what no longer helps you grow. Can't drag every mistake, insecurity, outdated belief forward. Notice the costly thoughts, the ones showing up under pressure, whispering tired lines.
Not ready, not capable. They sound reasonable, but block growth. Time to let them go.
No reason to entertain thoughts that convince you to delay, shrink, question, too much to build. Confront them. You don't belong here. Mental space is limited. Useless thoughts take room needed for clarity, direction, strength.
It's a regular discipline, like cleaning a room. For focus, for performance.
And identify those inherited thoughts, negative opinions absorbed from others.
Right, you're not obligated to keep thinking things that limit you just because someone else said them once. Permission to outgrow old thoughts. And identify beliefs built around fear, especially fear of failure defining you.
That kills progress. Remove thoughts keeping you from trying things you believe in. Take charge of mental patterns like your growth depends on it.
Because it does. Use that technique again. Write looping thoughts down. Ask, helps me grow or slows me down. Rewrite the slow ones into thought-supporting action, values, pushing you to be better.
Stuckness is often just mental clutter. Past noise, future fears, others' opinions. Only clear, focused, growth-oriented thinking moves you forward. And protect the outside input, too. Filter what you absorb.
To avoid overwhelm and directionlessness. Create a mental environment supporting your future. Speak with clarity, think with intention, refuse weakening thoughts. Be strict with focus. Let go of thoughts that felt normal but limit you. Growth demands subtraction. Need better thoughts, not just more.
Challenge the inner critic. Build the inner coach. Stop holding on to too late, too risky, too hard. They limit, don't protect. Notice the default mindset under stress. If it's the same negative script, clear it out. You're not that version anymore. Thinking needs to catch up.
You are responsible for the thoughts you hold on to. Stop blaming circumstances. Build mental strength. Control the stories. Clear thinking leads to obvious direction, less doubt, trusting your ability to navigate.
Clean out regrets, unrealistic fears, comparisons, assumptions. Make room for energizing, aligned, identity-reinforcing thoughts. More space means more focus. Clean mind, life follows. Strong mind, habits follow. Clear mind, confidence follows. This work matters now. Clean thinking means moving with speed, clarity, power.
And this all comes together in the idea of thinking strong every day and watching life shift.
It's that daily choice again. Think to support growth or weaken direction. These repeated patterns strengthen or tear apart your identity.
Thinking strong consistently shifts life, not because the world gets easier,
but because you become more stable, grounded, effective. It's choosing thoughts to respond better. Waking up, deciding to think like someone in control of their actions, regardless of the day, builds a better, more peaceful, productive life.
Strength isn't accidental. You train it, repeat it, earn it by how you talk to yourself before the day begins. Decide how to handle problems before they show up. Walk in with focus, not doubt. That's thinking strong.
And daily strong thinking changes things. Less energy wasted on distractions, less overreacting, less being swayed by others. You stay steady, focused, better at choosing where your energy goes.
It's not about ignoring emotions, but not letting them control every response, creating that gap.
Exactly. That gap between event and response is discipline, built-in thinking. Breath instead of snapping. Reflecting instead of reacting. Staying focused. Changes how you live.
Not always positive, but intentional. Thoughts are tools. Chosen tools affect the structure built. Weak thoughts make life unstable. Strong thoughts make it steady. You access both daily.
But most choose without noticing, running the same script. Stop. Ask, is this thinking supporting the life I want to build? That's where the shift starts. Awareness catches old patterns. Without questioning, cycles repeat.
Strong thinking is the foundation. Clears mental space for new choices, new results.
The struggle is wanting better outcomes, but not owning the thoughts driving choices. Blaming externals, but the response starts with thinking.
So the most powerful daily action is training thoughts to stay strong even when life isn't. Starting early.
First thoughts set the tone. Waking defeated gives power away. Waking with strength creates momentum. Doesn't need to be loud or fake positive, just clear. Capable, not wasting time, committed to showing up.
May not feel strong, but can choose to think strong. It's a choice, easier with practice. Clearer under pressure, solve problems faster, stop spiraling. Become trustworthy in the storm.
Confidence from thinking strong consistently isn't belief everything goes right, but knowing you can handle it when it doesn't. Comes from repetition, proving you show up with strength.
Doesn't mean having all answers, but trusting yourself to take the next step without perfection. Believing you can adapt, adjust, keep mind clear. Rare, but separates purposeful living from autopilot.
Keep building mental strength with intentional input. Clarity, direction, people reminding you of ability, voices challenging you to rise. Guarding time, guarding thoughts, guarding progress.
Catching weak thinking isn't failure, it's an opportunity to redirect.
Exactly. Not feeling bad, but pausing, choosing better, taking back power. That's how strong people move, choosing to think differently in the middle of challenge.
Strong thinking creates habits shaping life. Purpose, clarity, maturity, steadiness. Stop waiting for life to get easier. Your mind got stronger.
Life changes because you changed how you think each day. Trained mind. Asset, not obstacle. Mindset protects focus, discipline, identity. This work is often avoided, but leads to real, lasting transformation. Not by chance, but showing up for your mind daily.
So the decision is right now.
Yeah.
Think strong, with intention, with purpose. That daily practice creates the life you want. So we've covered a lot ground from this source, really digging into how thinking shapes, well, everything. Actions, beliefs, confidence, the whole direction of your life.
Yeah, and the key seems to be that controlling your mind, choosing thoughts, guarding that space, backing it up with action. These aren't passive ideas, they're active daily disciplines.
Right. And the benefit for you listening is understanding these principles gives you a powerful shortcut, not just to know about it, but to be equipped to actively shape your own experience, to build that life.
The source really leaves us with this undeniable truth, doesn't it? Your life is shaped in your mind first, and you get to choose every day, every hour, every thought.
So the final provocative question, based on everything we've discussed from the source. Given that truth, what single thought would you choose to plant and nurture in your mind starting right now? What better life will that single intentional thought begin to build for you?